Hey everybody, it's Saturday night and I just wanted to give everybody a quick update here on my new look in my Gourami tank. I really changed it up a lot recently. I moved a lot of the rocks out of there. I changed the whole tank around really. Pretty much rescaped everything. The only thing that's the same for the most part is the floating water sprite to the left at the top there. And then of course the planted red tiger lotus, and then that large piece of wood didn't move position, and the java fern that's growing all over the top of that wood didn't move position. Otherwise, the rest of the tank has been completely redone, and I even took some of the larger fish out of this tank and put them in some different tanks. So the feel of the tank is completely different, and I like it. I liked it when I first did it, so it wasn't a matter of me having to worry about it growing on me or anything like that. I've liked it right from the get-go. My concern has been whether or not the fish are going to like it, because it's so much more open. You can see the way those loaches are chasing each other around, and I just didn't know what kind of behavioral changes we were going to see. Some of these fish may not get along if they are a little too in each other's faces. These loaches are a perfect example. The skunk loaches are pretty aggressive, or can be aggressive, and if there's not enough cover or not enough places for them to hide, they can get problematic. They can tend to fight with each other. They can get fussy with other fish. So that was going to be one of my main concerns. And then another concern I've got is this moonlight gourami does not seem overly thrilled with the idea that there's another moonlight gourami in the tank. Doesn't seem too bothered by the little pearls in there, but the other moonlight gourami does not seem like a welcome addition, and she is being more or less relegated to living down at this end of the tank, which is fine. I mean, to me and you, it might seem like she's hiding and cowering in the corner, but from the fish's point of view, she's got a pretty prime spot of real estate there. It's all nice and shady and covered. She's got plenty of places to hide, lots of room to swim around. It's where the fresh, water is coming in from the filter, so there's maximum circulation over there. So she's not in a bad place. It just makes it a little difficult for us to see her, and it just makes it seem like, the poor thing, she's hiding down there at the end of the tank, which is kind of the case. She does spend most of her time down there, and when she comes out in the open a little too much, this larger moonlight tends to chase her away wherever she's gotten to. I don't even see her. She's probably, oh, there she is. She was looking at her lengthwise, and they're so wispy thin, almost they vanish. So the video I wanted to shoot tonight was going to be about water sprite and telling the difference between water sprite and water wisteria. I had someone recently, it was actually a video of this tank long ago. I was talking about my water sprite that is floating in here, and this being YouTube, of course, they had to attack and ridicule me because they believed that I was wrong and that it is water wisteria. And of course, you don't need social skills to comment on YouTube, and so they had at it. And I looked it up because, regardless of the messenger, I'll always listen to the information. Just because somebody is not necessarily very good at conveying constructive criticism doesn't mean I won't listen to what they have to say. And I checked to see if maybe they were right. And they were not right. This is actually still water sprite, just like it's always been, and so is the stuff that's in my other tanks, and I've learned how to positively identify it, and while I could explain it, I want to show it to you because I've got a good example of two different kinds upstairs that are side by side, but I'm just waiting for a little more propagation to occur because one of the ways you can tell the difference is the way the roots develop and the new growth occurs from one plant to the next. And so I'm waiting till that next generation starts so I can point to it and say, this looks like that and that looks like this. So that video is coming. I was actually in there tonight looking very closely to see if I could see any roots anywhere, and alas, I could not. So we're not going to shoot that video. I thought I would just come down here and shoot a little bit of video giving everybody a look at my new Gourami tank, because some people probably are going to take a little getting used to this one after what it used to be. If you're not familiar with this tank, if you're just now seeing my Gourami tank, look at the playlist and go back and see some of the videos prior to, I don't know, about 3 videos ago, and you will see a very, very different tank. It was just a solid wall of vegetation, and from time to time you'd get a glimpse of some fish swimming around in it, and down at the bottom was just darkness. You know, even with the light fixture pulled fully forward to get as much light down there as possible, you still just, it wasn't enough light for my camera to really do a good job of showing you any fish on the bottom. Which brings me to my striped Raphael. This is the cave he seems to have taken a shine to the most. He seems to be in here more frequently than others. You can see he's got plenty of room to move around. I made it so that he can be in there. He can wiggle underneath of this block of wood. He can get in here very easily. And if he wants a little more open cave, he can be in there, which is still protected and covered, but is wide open and would certainly allow for easy photography, videos, or whatever. So he seems to have opted for the cave I kind of thought he would, which is the more reclusive, but I made it so that we'd be able to look into it and look through it, and he's actually being a little more cooperative than I hoped by poking his little face out the front of it like that, so we actually get to see a little bit of him in there. And he's out and about swimming around from time to time. I think now that the tank's a little less crowded and there's a little less competition on the bottom, he's a little less grumpy, I'll say. I'll leave it at that. So make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And if you're subscribed, you won't miss anything I got coming up on this video or any of the updates I'm going to be doing on anything else. So don't forget, this one is my Gourami tank, new look and all. I'll see you real soon in the next one. Thanks for watching.